Hey folks, how's it going? I'm Josh.
I'm Taylor.
Checking out what, my dear?
Joe Lycett. I don't know how you say his name. Parking ticket story. 8 out of 10 cats does countdown.
All right, this is one of the top suggestions for the 8 out of 10 cats, so we're gonna jump into it. It's only 2 minutes.
Well, Jimmy, I get a lot of parking fines, and I have realised if you ask for evidence, then often you can get out of the fine. Now, I was up north doing a show, and I got a fine, so I emailed the council asking for the evidence. I got an email from some woman called Steph, who said, Mr. Lycett, I have passed your email on to the Freedom of Information team. Hopefully they'll be in touch with you soon. Now, I didn't like that word, hopefully, so I replied, Steph, sadly, hopefully, doth butter no parsnips. Can I have an email address for the person you have contacted? My lawyers would like to contact them directly. You have been very helpful, and hopefully you won't get caught up in the forthcoming. Forthcoming was sinister enough. He replied, Mr. Lycett, I'm not sure what you mean about buttered parsnips. I've CC'd in the FOI team who will advise. Now I got an email from someone called Colin who said, Mr. Lycett, your request is very broad, so I've assumed you only want information pertinent to your recent parking fine. Attached is the evidence which we have, which are photographs of your car clearly parked in a taxi rank. Now the photographs they had are of my window, which had taxi rank written on it by presumably a disgruntled taxi driver. But there's actually no evidence of a taxi rank in that photograph. So I went back to Colin, didn't I? And said, Mr. Colin, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I see that your evidence is nothing more than a picture of the words taxi rank written on my car. I would argue this evidence is insufficient. I also put P.S. Apologies for the delay in replying to your previous email. I'm currently on the Costa del Sol. I provided evidence of this, and then I just put this picture...
Oh no!
He said, Mr. Lycett, in order to reverse the fine, you will need to provide evidence that your vehicle was not in a taxi rank. So I said, oh, Mr. Colin, evidence supplied. I was actually parked on the moon, as you can see clearly. I got a reply, Mr. Lycett, I've cancelled the fine.
Oh, fantastic! That's super true, you know, even here with the fines if you ask for evidence. That's why there's like an app that's built around it now.
Yeah.
Where like essentially if they get the company if they get your ticket canceled, if they can't get it canceled, you don't owe them anything, but if they get it canceled, you just owe them half of whatever the fine was. So either way, it's a win-win for you.
Yeah.
Just drop the charges and you pay half of whatever you would have paid in the first place.
Because that's what happened when I went. They didn't make me pay anything for like some ticket I got. Remember a couple years ago?
Yeah.
They didn't make me pay anything. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to come every time. Because if you just say I didn't do that, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Especially for like driving stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
They did that to one of my employees when I used to work for CVS out in Chicago.
Yeah.
They were so somebody broke our window at CVS. He was the closest one. They called my phone, of course.
Their car
I'm knocked
window?
out. No, somebody broke our store window.
Oh,
I
remember.
So the alarm went off. Cops came. They had to call a store employee to disarm and all that kind of stuff and go through the walkthrough. And he lives right in Chicago. Everybody else commutes. So of course, I commute there. And so he called him back and everything. He was like, I'm already heading there. Yada 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 blah blah. I missed a phone call. And then I went to work early. I was supposed to go to work at 10 o'clock. I ended up going in at 6 a.m. so I can relieve him so he can take like half the day off, whatever, going. And when he was out there, by the time 7 a.m. came, the cops were there with him. I came there. He was there just walking off everything with me. By the time he came outside, after the cops were only gone for I think like an hour or whatever, meter maid, whatever we call him, ticketed his car and charged him $300 for parking in a no parking zone. So I tried to dispute it. He was there for this, yada yada yada. Said no matter what, you can't park that, blah blah. All this jazz going back and forth, sending letters going through CVS and everything, and nobody wanted to do anything. So I ended up just we do what's called paid out to CVS, and I had to do like a paid out for like the ticket. I had to get approval from the district manager. They had to go through all this stuff, and like Chicago just refused to bend. Like, dude, the cops were there with him.
Right.
They saw there's no garage or anything from the park in.
Yeah.
He had to, like,
and it was an emergency.
It was an emergency. The window was broken. We didn't know if somebody was in the store or not. Like, and they still was like, meh. Doesn't matter. Like, dude, he's parked.
Crazy.
He literally parked in front of where the cops were at because the cops direction him over to park in front of them, and then they walked off the store and stuff with him. They leave. A meter maid shows up and gives him a ticket. Like, trash. So, but yeah, if he would we would have had the app back then, we could have went through that disputal process.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking trash, man. Yeah. But that's true. Like, if you go through, if you do enough dispute on that kind of jazz and they can't really prove it, yeah, they usually drop it. Yeah. And it's crazy. So many companies they eat it up as they have a legal team like specifically for parking tickets in Chicago because Chicago's super bad with tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who lives in Chicago who might be watching our videos knows this. Especially if you work for a retailer and you work with a lot of vendors. Frito-Lay, all those vendors, they just because there's nowhere to park in Chicago and you can't deliver and park in a parking garage, all that kind of jazz. So they just park in their zone, deliver their stuff, accept the ticket, then submit the ticket up every time.
Oh, wow.
So they that remember what do you call it? The Frito-Lay girl was telling me, she was like, I've already had 14 tickets today. That's just the way it is here in Chicago.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
You park, they make so much money off the tickets. They sit around and essentially wait for like drop off zones, and then they say like, well, they give you an option for a delivery area. And it's crazy because sometimes like the only delivery zone is 3 blocks away, and you really expect these people to leave their truck unattended to haul chips all the way to like a CVS or any other store. It's crazy, man. It's insane. But this is really good. This is really funny because showing how stupid it was and how the lack of evidence was so freaking dumb.
Right.
Like writing on the window says something. So that was great. I enjoyed this. I know I got on a ticket tangent, but tickets are super annoying.
Yeah, it is.
This is funny. I enjoyed this. I like this guy. We're gonna check out to see if he's in anything else.
Yeah.
If he has like stand up or something like this, but this is funny. All right, guys. I rambled about tickets long enough. I really enjoyed this guy. Thank you guys very much. It was funny. Anything else, Sweets?
Nope.
All right, folks. That is all for this one. Hopefully, you guys are happy, safe, and healthy. And what else, Sweets? You got anything?
Nope.
You sure?
Nothing.
You got something on your mind?
I do, but I don't want to tell whole stories.
Tell the story.
No. Because that time I almost got a ticket in Chicago when I went to a concert.
Oh, yeah.
And I parked in that. I went to see Morrissey, if you guys like Morrissey, you UK people. There's like, it's called the Riviera in Chicago.
Yeah.
And like right across the street is another concert place called the Metro. And then there's like I think it's like an oil change place. And people were like directing parking to park there. And I was like, okay. I just assumed it was the people that like owned the business. And we were like the last car at the edge of the parking lot, and they were like putting tickets out as we left out of the concert. And I'm like, I'm so happy that we walked out right at this time because it was a super like probably ridiculously high ticket because the people weren't really like there.
Yeah.
With that business, they were just like directing people and taking money. And it was like $40 to park there. Man. I was like, that was ridiculous. And people's cars were like caught in there for hours. Man. So, it was crazy.
That's actually a genius scheme. If a concert or something goes on, I just put on like a yellow vest, like, go ahead.
Because they had like a sign and everything, so I just assumed they were with them. Because there was an event going on at the Metro too. So there was like a ton of people parked in there. Like your cars were super close. I was driving your car. I was like, Josh would have murdered me. But we got there like right before the concert started, so we were running a bit late anyway, but yeah.
See, man.
And these ladies were standing out there like insinuating that we should stay and wait there with them because their cars were like really deep in and they got a ticket and they were going off on the cops. I'm like, I'm not going to stay here with you. It's like
Screw
midnight.
that.
I want to go home. It was like January. It was cold too. Yeah. I'm like, no, get out of here.
That's crazy. So if like they had like 100 cars at $40 pop, what's it like $4,000?
It was a lot of. It probably wasn't 100, but it was at least like 30, 40 cars. It was a lot.
That's a pretty panty for a scam.
Just to scam, and they only took cash, of course. Yeah. And I was like, they scamming out here in Chicago.
That's a nice little scheme unless you get caught. Right.
They were like, oh, just back up. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I just didn't think anything of it, you know?
And then just think about if they had like a scheme. I want to over talk you. You said, but what?
Huh?
You said, but?
Nothing.
Oh.
I don't know what I was going to say.
I'm saying, like, if they had like if the scheme was so good, like say they knew a meter maid, and then so the meter maid, hey, we can both meet out. Like I can make this money, you can make your quota on tickets. Like, hey, you go chill over there, yada yada yada, and just having that little scheme going on.
They were straight up handing out tickets, and they were like 4 cars away from mine. I'm like, oh, time to get out of here, because we were gonna go like eat at like a bar or something. I'm like, no, forget it. So Jesus, I could never do that to somebody that's bogus. But it was a really good concert, so it was worth it.
No, it wasn't.
I love Morrissey.
Doesn't everybody?
No.
Not me. He's
I
okay.
You like a couple songs.
Yeah, I like some of the songs. Yeah.
UK people, who's better, Morrissey, The Cure? Leave a comment.
They ain't listening to you.
I know.
They say, here's the deal, love. They're both trash.
Oh, shut up. Whatever.
I'm joking. They're good.
Rude.
I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, that was like my ticket story. But I haven't really got a lot of tickets. Got
No,
a
me
couple. Nothing like major.
Yeah.
So I used to get driving tickets a lot.
Of course you did.
And I haven't got one in a long time though.
Yes,
I've been
you have.
good, but I used to drive crazy until you started crapping at me.
Huh? Yeah, but you driving like a loon and not paying attention. Jesus. Running over speed bumps.
Yeah,
And then potholes.
I used to drive really hard.
Like super reckless.
Anyway.
All right.
Rude self.
Got anything else, Sweets?
Nope.
This video's long as heck.
You told me to tell my story.
No, I'm saying in general, you like it's long, but it's cool though. It's all good. You guys are cool, right? You guys are cool. All right, guys, that's all for this one. I already said the good stuff. Hopefully, you guys are happy. We'll see you next week later.
Bye.